it's common to see elderly women peddling scarlet thread to tourists and pilgrims, especially at the Kotel or in the Old City of Jerusalem. They claim that it wards off the ayin hara, the evil eye. Some of them claim that it's taken from a thread that was wrapped around Rachel's tomb 7 times, and it possesses Kabbalistic power. Outside of Israel, since the late 1990s, many non-Jewish celebrities have made this quite popular, and its wider popularity is often linked to the controversial Kabbalah Center. The question is it halachically permitted to wear this red thread around your wrist, and does it have any Kabbalistic powers? To be sure, there is no Kabbalistic source or any other reputable Jewish source that encourages this practice. Actually, the only Talmudic source is in the Tosefta, which is an extra Talmudic work written by the sages of the Talmud, but were not included in the Talmud proper, that lists prohibited practices of Darkei Ho'amori. Darkei Ho'amori are superstitious practices that were founded and practiced by pagan idolaters, which are forbidden by Jews. One of them, the Tosefta lists, is to put a red string, around your finger. Based on this Tosefta, there are halachic authorities that say outright that it is forbidden. Actually, it is told that somebody asked the Lubavitcher Rebbe of Russia's memory in a private audience. Initially, the Rebbe was hesitant to express his view, but then he cautioned against it due to the prohibition of Darkei Ho'amori. However, there are modern halachic authorities that permit it, and they explain that the Tosefta, as said before, is an extra Talmudic work. But if you look at the actual Talmud proper, the list that the Talmud proper makes omits the red string around the finger. And therefore, the Talmud is the final halacha, and therefore it should be permitted. They also claim that there is another version of the Tosefta that only prohibits it when you put the red string around a wound. And even in our version of the Tosefta, it says one may not put it around a finger, but not necessarily not around your wrist. They also claim that any pagan practice that has been discontinued is permitted. So since there are no pagans that wear red strings today, it should be permitted. But actually this is incorrect. Research has shown that wearing a red string is very common amongst many cultures, mostly idolatrous, especially Hinduism and religions of the Far East. Another modern halachic authority affirms the ancient custom of placing a red string specifically on the crib and carriage of an infant. He argues that we should not forbid this custom, even though he hasn't found a source, since it has been a long-standing custom amongst the halachic Jewish community. It must have proven its worth over the years. In conclusion, some authorities prohibit it, some authorities permit it, many discourage it, and no one encourages it. When discussing spiritual remedies, charms, and amulets, the Lubavitcher Rebbe cautions us and explains that not all situations and people are the same. For even legitimate ones, there needs to be a special intent when using it and to have the know-how. Without it, it's very unlikely that it should have any effect on us. There were great Rebbes that created and distributed amulets, but they had the know-how and they knew when and how to use it. When it comes to charmers and soothsayers, the Torah enjoins us to be wholehearted with the Lord our God. God has given us a big Torah with many mitzvot to keep, to give us spiritual protection. In general, we don't need to worry too much about ayin hara, an evil eye, and definitely we do not need to look for other means of spiritual protection other than what's prescribed by the Torah. Thank you very much.